Messieurs les ministres, honorables.
Your Excellencies, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this third National Day of Industry. We opened a new chapter yesterday that's enriching, or rich, and very inspiring. Today we carry on talking about the Moroccan industry, as mentioned yesterday by the head of the government, Mr. Aziz Akhnouch. Its industry is at the heart of the vision of His Majesty, and it has entered into a new era, an era of sovereignty, an era of competitiveness, and an era of excellence. And in the center of this transformation, there is a reaffirming pride, which is the label Made in Morocco. It's not only a signature or a label, it's a guarantee of quality and the fruit of constant innovation and the symbol of innovation that crosses borders. Made in Morocco today is the engine to our territorial development, and it's the platform for our future industries. It's also a reflection of our collective intelligence and our competitiveness in the international sphere. We have to deepen this influence, and today we are tracing or blazing a path for a more innovative and sovereign industry. Ladies and gentlemen, we will tackle a fundamental topic, which is how Made in Morocco will become our best ambassador in the international scene, how this label would make Morocco a destination for investors and large investors internationally. Ladies and gentlemen, Made in Morocco has to attract more investments, so we will explore this dynamism. Thank you.
Et pour nous accompagner tout au long de cette première discussion, j'ai l'immense honneur.
And I am very delighted to call under your applause, ladies and gentlemen, Karim Dizan, the Delegate Minister of Evaluation of Public Policies, Mr. Mohamed Bashiri, the CEO of Warner Morocco, Mr. Mehdi Bouamani, the CEO of Dislam Group, and Mr. Anwar Radi, CEO of SME Group. Welcome, gentlemen. Please be seated. Welcome. I'd like to start with you, Your Excellency, who talks about industrial development, talks about the new Charter of Investment, which is a pillar of your actions. How will it support concretely this label Made in Morocco, and how will it strengthen attractiveness of the national industrial platform, especially in comparison to international or other platforms internationally? Thank you, Mr. Wadia. First, I would like to thank and congratulate the Ministry of Industry and my colleague Riyad Mazur for the enormous efforts they're deploying, all the team from CGM, and I would like to also hail all the entrepreneurs who are among us. I came from Japan. I've just arrived from there, and I'd like to say that Morocco is a well-known country internationally, and it's recognized. And we're very proud to be a reliable country with specific characteristics. We have advantages and perks that you will not find elsewhere. And how can we make Made in Morocco the launching pad for the Moroccan investments? We have to encourage investors and make fertile land for attracting investments that are national and international. The investment charter is a set of of uh, of incentives and many elements in this regard. We're here to accompany and support investments or investors first, and also show and display the perks of Morocco, the possibilities Morocco and the potentials of Morocco, as well as incentives in the form of bursaries, and also in creating jobs, creating added value, and also to invest throughout the kingdom. I would like to say that the investment charter is a guarantee that will help make the label of Made in Morocco a success nationally and internationally. Yeah, all the benefits that come along this charter are varied. Now we'll move to Mr. Mohamed Bashiri, the General Director of Renault. The Renault Group is a historical partner of the Moroccan industry. You launched a large investment recently. How can we make Morocco a competitive platform for groups such as Renault? What makes it? Morocco is the second largest manufacturer of cars in our group, and there's two factories, and this is unprecedented. It falls under the vision of His Majesty, who has been working diligently in order to ensure an improvement in this sector. We have over 250 companies that we work with, and over 10,000 jobs that were created. This quality of PPP that we are focusing on made us succeed. And I'd like to remind you that the sector of automobile is the first exporter. We surpassed phosphate in 2017. And we are representing 38% of the automobile exports as the Renault Group. And Renault is the most sold car in the kingdom. There are many cars that are manufactured in Morocco, but Renault is number one. We succeeded thanks to the commitment of all the teams, and thanks to the support of the Ministry of Industry and Trade and all the public bodies that support Renault. And also this intelligence when it comes to the industrial platform, the Moroccan industrial platform. And this was highlighted by our CEO last week. As mentioned by the Minister, His Excellency, we are a reliable country. When Morocco signs conventions with international groups, for example, Renault, it keeps its word, and they're usually committed. When we talk about Morocco side by side with other countries that we worked at or that we worked in, we can say confidently that Morocco is a reliable country and it has everything we need. Secondly, Morocco has the infrastructure, for example, the Tangier Med port, plus the motorways. We have over 1,800 kilometers of motorway. And we have to, and we are working towards enlarging this road, and apart from this, there is a large infrastructure, Yes. Apart from the automobile industry, you mentioned also the infrastructure and also respecting the commitment. Now we'll move to Mr. Amani. You are one of the national champions in what they call the economy of life. So you focus on made in Morocco and to have this label recognized internationally. How can you help grow this label? Thank you, Mr. Wada, and very delighted to be part of this panel. Disla Group is part of the economy of life. We are brand developers in 3 sectors. We started by GM, just the same as my colleague Anwar. Then we moved to food, the food industry, before moving to health solutions. Through this path, we kept the focus on the consumer's needs. During this 20 years of existence, we focused on the development of economy, country development of also the label of Made in Morocco. In the face of international competition. And I would like to remind you that between 2005 to 2020, many multinationals developed certain solutions that meet the needs of the consumer. Today, we can say that Made in Morocco has to be for Moroccans in the sectors that I represent. It's a gain. First, or it's a stakes to be gained. First, I would like to turn towards Anwar because it's a victory when we are making what we consume. We've reached 1 billion dirhams, and today we're over 1.7 billion. And there's an acceleration in the industry. And we have a great factory in Mohammedia where we produce bleach, what's called Ache in the company, and we also launched a biscuits factory 3 years ago. We also invested in a pharmaceutical lab and also in cosmetics. Today, we are a leader in bottles and lids manufacturing. With the evolution of the label of Made in Morocco, today in the sectors that I represent, I would like to say that the real question today is how can we make it shiny? How can we make Made in Morocco shine globally? Mr. Bashiri talked about Rono Group. In our sector, we need something that's very simple. We have to start by our immediate environments. What I mean by that, the Western Northern Africa as well as Europe. We must have or obtain perks of access in order to cover the rest, which is 60% of Made in Morocco. This perception of Made in Morocco has to shine globally, which means that the level of the national market what can you say? I would like to say that the Moroccan consumer distinguishes and can tell whether the product was made in Morocco or not. And the evolution of the middle class allowed for enlarging, for larger needs, and there's also a middle class that needs quality and costs, good costs. We are trying to meet the needs of the market, especially specific ones of Moroccans. Now we'll move to Anwar Radi, who is the CEO of Anouazis. It's a true success story that you had. Please tell us about this brand, which is Kimyu, and what were the challenges that you faced before reaching this point? Thank you. We had a discussion with Ms. Mehdi before, who's we have the brand Mew, and we are trying to focus on the meat of Morocco. For the brand Neo, Neo is there were many international automobile manufacturers in Morocco even before independence, but I have an experience in many countries, for example, Ukraine, Algeria, etc., in the cosmetics field. And and today, one day, we discussed a contract with an international brand, which is Cocktail in Geneva, for the reconditioning of my contract, and I was about to be assigned or appointed in Casablanca. And I don't hide the fact that I was pressured during this this meeting. There was a lady who was a buyer. She told me, my friend, this is my price, take it or leave it. I'm a Moroccan, so back in the day, in 2008, I had only one customer, and I swear I had tears in my eyes. How today I'm not sovereign in my country. And in 2009, I said to myself, as a supplier in a large area of the world, I have to make my product in Morocco. And my parents helped me achieve this dream afterwards, because we wanted to make our own cars. And in 2010, I launched the construction project and my relations with the international companies. Mr. Mehdi, each time I see him, when multinationals speak of automation, for us, it was the sky. It's the sky. It's something that we can't reach. However, I started with Moroccan talents, but even the technologies, the installation, everything is done by Moroccans, and it's our honor today. And all schools, starting from Istea or the engineering schools, etc., we set up the automation gears and everything, and we launched in 2011 and in 2019, and many friends came up to me and said, what are you doing? What are you doing facing two competitors? And in 2025 or 2025, today, many people know the Neo company. Yesterday, I heard the Minister Mzour spoke about Made in Morocco not being only a slogan, but a guarantee for quality, innovation, and Moroccan talents. And this is the secret of the Neo brand, Neo Motors brand in Morocco. Today, we're about 1,600 staff and 1.5 billion dirhams in revenue, 100% Moroccan, and this is on a path. And today we are launching a new unit for cosmetics. We are producing shampoos, soap, etc. This is the group Neo, the group NO6. It's a leader in the Moroccan market since 2019. I talked about emancipation long ago, and I believe that Anwar is a great example to follow in Morocco. Please, give him a round of applause. He deserves it. And have you ever met that woman again in your life? Yes, in 2013, I met her in an event about chemical products, and I was stronger back then, but I didn't talk to her because she knew what happened. But back in the day, in 2008, I had two roles. I was a supplier and at the same time a client. However, we understood the meaning. So she made you create this brand. Thank you, Your Excellency. In the strategy of your ministry, which place do you have for the TPMA industry, and what are the elements that you will put in place in order to support the small enterprises and medium enterprises to be part of the Made in Morocco label? Well, for companies, for example, Rono or renewable energy batteries, they're great because they show how Morocco is open to global actors and to global investors, and it attracts many international companies or multinationals. However, the place of very small and medium enterprises is very important because they're the spine of the Moroccan industry. If we compare ourselves to Germany or the German industry is based on these small and medium enterprises. It's there where it's the ones that created the larger added value because they're the ones with the larger staff because they cover about 5 or 6 times the staff that they have compared to large companies. Because, for example, we might find large companies in Tangier, Casablanca, etc. However, for small and medium enterprises, you might find them in Rashidiyah, Marrakesh, and many other small towns. And in this regard, or in support of these enterprises, we are launching in 11/11 from Rashidiyah a sign that Morocco has chosen not only to support large companies but also small and medium enterprises. And I would like to congratulate Mr. Anwar for their commitment and many other companies, and we are there to help you because you will help us grow Morocco in this brand.
So indeed, as you said, you have highlighted the need to export skills. So according to you, what are the obstacles and barriers that we need to overcome in order to make Made in Morocco shine on the international scale, whether it's for Europe or for the rest of the continent to conquer new markets? Well, once again, I'm talking about what I know at least. So on hygiene, we are at the measure of the right industrial platform for Made in Morocco by taking the Moroccan market as what's enough for us. And so for us, when it comes to health solutions, we are in need of the capacity for projections. And if we have 35 to 50 to 40% of our turnover produced locally, we would be at the measure to have access to a scale of the market that would allow us to localize the rest. This means that on agronutrition we need more volume, and the Moroccan market is too small to be able to justify the investment in all of its sectors on nutrition. And when we're talking about Made in Morocco, we start by our neighboring countries. So Africa currently sees Morocco as an elder brother. Africa sees Morocco and the label of Made in Morocco as an improvement, and so typically what we lack is, as the country that signed the most amount of free trade agreements, at least in Africa, we still have lots of FTAs in West Africa that, in my opinion, might be the hub for additional investments in agronutrition. And when it comes to health solutions, we have enough Moroccan businesses for the logic of sovereignty on meds. I believe that beyond the capacity to export, we need to accelerate PPPs in order to be able to gain more volume and expand the made in Morocco generic label. And this is a good thing for Morocco, its label, and the funding of health expenditure that will be completely covered by the state in the next few years. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We are still. I will revert back to you, Mr. Anwar Radi, when it comes to this necessity to make Made in Morocco shine as a label. So, what are you doing exactly in order to garner the talents for the people who are gravitating around your activities, as well as having standards that are standards of international dimensions, especially for multinationals with which you worked in the past? Well, there's not much secret about it. I cannot hide the fact that I am surrounded by people who are smarter than I am, really. And I am working eventually on my ego because, as the founder, I'm sure you know that entrepreneurs and Moroccan collaborators and operators always reach the point of how to ensure the sustainability of their business. So on this topic, we would be touching upon governance, because we can create brands that are 100% Moroccan, but how can we make them sustainable? And this isn't something that we can do without human capital. And so currently, our group and our reality is human capital. This has to do with people who are so smart, smarter than I am. So, Mr. Mehdi, would you say that they are part of the group, I suppose? Yes, absolutely. I believe that we are. They know themselves when we're talking about them, really. And to keep talking about them, we're going to drive them to the multinationals, really. And so this would be the proof of how Made in Morocco is the winning component, because our talents are ready to operate with companies such as the ones my friend Anwar is operating, or from other groups. I'd like to also add the fact that Morocco is full of smart Moroccans, but we also have Moroccan diaspora. So the Moroccans of the world I've seen recently are Moroccans that I am impressed by. We have Moroccans coming from Geneva to Jolf al-Asfar. So they are working for us in Morocco, and this is magnificent to see, really. And I asked a question to these two people, and I asked them, why did you leave Geneva behind? I asked them, why did you make this choice? And so I cannot hide the fact that we have the Made in Morocco as a component within our DNA, as the best takeaway that I can share with you in my method of work based on our recruitment. So there are also many interesting talents. Indeed, so with the importance and the significance of human capital, resources, and young talent refers us to talk about the various students from Moroccan schools such as Lizit and Iskae. Please stand so we can give you a round of applause. You are really the beacon of a future for Made in Morocco, and here they are, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that their presence is not anonymous, because look at the topic that we are talking about here. They are the ones carrying the torch for the future, and I am convinced that there are many job opportunities for them in terms of employment and internship for the attendees in the room with us. And I would like to revert back to you, Mr. Bashiri, to tell us more about integrating international markets, as such is the case for Made in Morocco cars. So how can you see international client bases, and how could they become a true advantage? So for the Made in Morocco label for products that are exported to foreign countries, how can we implement new strategies to integrate new markets? What is the case for you on the international scale? How are you doing client outreach as an alternative? Well, it's very well perceived because it's well marketed by clients themselves. We send out Made in Morocco cars to other countries, for about 70 countries, generally in Europe. So we've been from a logic where we play on the local label, and so we haven't really reached the semifinals, but we'll get there. And so this is work that we are doing in tandem with our various partners, and this is when it comes to being working on how the Sandero will be the first country that is, the first car that would be made in Morocco, sent to European countries, and we are going beyond that, because I remember one time I was in Belgium visiting family. And for a few years, then we had a neighbor who lived there, and I thought that I work for Renault and we sell cars, so maybe you would see Moroccan cars in Belgium. And he said, "Do you really make cars in Morocco?" And this is something that really made me think of everything that we lack in when it comes to making Made in Morocco more known on the international scale in terms of communication specifically. And so the work that's been done for over many years has bared fruits, and we know that this is a very demanding market, and we need to constantly keep listening to our clients. And so this has to do with preserving our competitiveness, quality, complying with standards, and working with authorities and ministries on everything that has to do with vigilance to follow up on the evolution of legal texts on international markets. So for me, on the automotive sector, on the medium to long term, there are 4 or 5 takeaways. The first idea has to do with maintaining our gains, and so we are usually used to celebrating our victories, but we should stay focused on what needs to be done in order to keep our gains. And the second idea is to upgrade our infrastructure. There are 3 main challenges here. What's at stake is going from horizontal integration with about 60 or 70 clients with their own providers, and to go to vertical integration, to go all the way to the subcontractors integration for raw materials. We have raw materials in the infrastructure, but this infrastructure must be polished enough to have its own raw materials. The other idea is sustainability when it comes to the circular economy of the sector. And so we have many industrial scales, and the necessity to implement the ecosystem for recycling these industrial chains in order to have inputs that might be used as raw material for tomorrow's vehicles. So, for example, we've launched this strategy in Tangier and another company in Casablanca, where we collect our metallic waste that's generated by our providers that will become tomorrow's raw materials to manufacture other cars. And so we are now entering into a circular economy to create jobs and added value. The third idea is talent. So talents in terms of human resources, as you all know, Dacia 2005 is not the same as Dacia 2025, because when you take a look at today's Sandero and Logan, you'll see many new dashboards, softwares, and some AI and digital that goes into the make of these cars. And so this isn't something that you could see in previous models, and that's what's going to train our next talents for tomorrow in everything that has to do with tech and automation, as well as Industry 4.0, to have the talent we need for tomorrow. Which is why we need to work in tandem with the various ministerial departments and professional training that was mentioned yesterday by His Excellency Mr. Shakib, the Minister, and to launch many initiatives in this regard, which has to do with the engineers we recruited 2 years ago at our companies in Tangier and Casa, and we told them that now that you have a bit of seniority, can you tell us what you're lacking in terms of the training program you received in the schools? And so they gave us a set of specifications through which we were able to establish a new training program for the future of the automotive sector. And so this has to do with citizen action in order to be launched for the first time last year as part of a curriculum for engineering on the Automotive Industrial 4.0 training program. And this is something that's going to catapult us into the future. It's going to help us secure tomorrow's investments and will help us preserve this branch of exporting of the exports in the industry for Morocco that will become a source of pride and industrialism in our entire country. So For me, Made in Morocco, I would like to emphasize the fact that it's a socioeconomic stake for the country. It goes beyond etiquette, because all of the products that we manufacture, beyond everything we mentioned so far, has to do with the citizenship stake. And so this has to do with the benchmarking we did earlier this year, where I noticed a few kids at factories. This is the last time I'm going to mention the kids in factories, but I met students who had a scheduled visit at the factory, and I was wondering, what are these kids doing at such a factory? And I was told that these are our ambassadors for tomorrow, and they're going to be manufacturing our cars when they receive the necessary training. So there's lots of raising awareness and campaigns for our kids since the primary school, and not just for engineering schools for adults. Thank you very much for this amazing state-of-the-art vision, really, when it comes to talking about governance and support for the public power. And so I would like to revert back to you, Your Excellency the Minister, to really take a look at the bigger picture on behalf of the entire ministry in order to guarantee this productive sovereignty for the work that you are doing in the automotive sector and this precious Made in Morocco label. I would like to compliment what Mr. Mohammed said on the importance of supporting students and future talents of our countries throughout the collaborations and opportunities provided to the young, because this is a request to everyone to support our youth thanks to internships, end of study internships, and continuous trainings, because they are tomorrow's talent. And if we do not invest in such an untapped youth, we would have to establish so many policies without really achieving much. And so you must believe that the collaboration between the industry and the university is the key lever to success. And this is in light of what Rono is doing in Morocco, where I was able to do the same with BMW when I was in Germany, and I was able to bring thermal engines to many universities and engineering schools to take a look at the real impact on the industrial development of Morocco. In all cases, under the forward-looking vision of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, we are a renowned country. And thankfully, alhamdulillah, we are going to hear some good news. So we are well recognized for many things. We are a politically stable country, an economically stable country, and close to many international markets. And we have a well-trained youth with many infrastructures of large scale and high quality based on international standards, as well as many men and women who believe in our country and are investing actively in this country, thanks to many public policies that are supporting these investments and backing them up, where we are trying or attempting to do what's necessary in order to support and accompany these investors in order to, why not in 2 or 3 years from now to make the Made in Morocco label recognized, such is the case for the Made in Germany or Made in Japan labels. This is our duty, and we are meeting here to incite more positivity for the Moroccan industry, because we have all the assets to make it happen, and with the support from the ministry and all of the investment that is being supported and backed up, and the entirety of the ecosystem around the Moroccan industry, I am convinced that we will make it happen, God willing, inshallah. So indeed, what could seem as a PPP, I would like to turn to you, Mr. Mediba Amrani, to tell us more about the health sector, which is quite sensitive and strategic to the country. You are aligned with the perspective of sovereignty or health sovereignty. So how does the PPP work in close collaboration with the ministry or with the various national representatives to accelerate local production of meds or health kits? And so this is in order to talk about easing access for national markets. Well, on the health sector, I believe that we took a collective conscience in 2020, 2021 with COVID to have the importance of acquiring national sovereignty on all of the elements you just mentioned. So this has to do, of course, with the information related to masks coming from China all the way to Europe, and European countries fighting to have as many masks as possible, or face masks. And this was the moment where we thought that we probably would need to join our heads together and think of frameworking and supporting national sovereignty on meds. I believe that many achievements were made in this regard, where the state took it as a challenge and has taken many investments or pharmaceutical investments to invest in the pharmaceutical sector, because we have the incentives, we have the market, and we definitely have the generalization of the health insurance for all citizens as a guarantee to develop the sector with the ability to reach the hopes of the state. So I believe that we are all here together, a part of the private and the public sectors, facing a beautiful, very beautiful opportunity, which is also a challenge. The opportunity part of it is that I agree that in order to be able to develop a maximum amount of products locally for the country, there is a challenge, and the challenging part of it is the obligation for me working on the budget of health. It requires to make this at a good price to have it frameworked. So what I invite everyone to do is to go towards the PPPs in order to establish the steps with which we would be able to manage this issue, both by asking our investors to invest in the future and to invest in products of health by managing an economic equation. This is both for the state and the private companies that would be able to develop sustainably and in a serene manner. And so this would be the best key to success for all parties involved. And for you, sir, how do you react to the cosmetic products and household products for research and development? Because R&D is an important lever, in your opinion, right? Indeed, yes, very exactly. I would like to inform you, Mr. Bashiri, that when it comes to the primary kids from Japan, even for us in our society, we receive and we welcome many students to visit our factories, because, as you know, Morocco is really making strides in this regard. And so by that, I would like to also take the opportunity to confirm on this conversation the excellence of our government and the improvement that is made, because we still have many challenges to overcome when it comes to the improvement of the climate of affairs in Morocco. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Mazour, the Minister of Commerce and Industry, because he was able to specifically facilitate administrative procedures in order to protect Moroccan consumers. And within 30 minutes, we had a call from his teams and with Imanor, where we were able to hold a meeting, and the action was quite swift. And so whoever doesn't thank people does not thank God. So thank you very much, Your Excellency the Minister. And I would like to also talk about a very important topic related to this fact itself that I consider as an honor of the sovereignty for the Made in Morocco label and the Moroccan brand in general, where we must ensure the sustainability of our businesses and to implement good governance. Because unfortunately, for Morocco, such is the case of the Mediterranean basin, we have an issue related to continuity and transfers, because it's important to talk about very good and audacious work of talking about Made in Morocco, but we need to ensure its sustainability, because we always have an issue of good governance. The good governance is lacking, and those with the money, the people we call the wallet holders, or monishkara, are those who are impacting 2 or 3 generations so far. So I'd like to insist on the operators to work on good governance and to continue being leaders and to diversify. Innovation is key to success. So if I talk about a few cases, innovation when it comes to COVID, we were avant-gardists by coming out with all sorts of products, from alcohol all the way to detergents and antibacterial gels, etc., and on smart formulas, because after the Ukraine-Russian war, prices were hiked to 2 or 3 times their original amount, and so we had to think of smart formulas that would help us respond to the needs of the market and to survive on the market as competitors. And the same goes for raw material prices that started decreasing, where we started learning a lot more when it comes to converting challenges or issues to opportunities. This perspective for the future is going to help us close this panel discussion. And I would like to conclude with you, sir, in just a few words, Mr. Bashiri, about the future of electric vehicles that are made in Morocco. Does the automotive sector have a trump card to play in this regard? It's a very good card, actually. It's not just about EVs, but electrifying vehicles and other hybrid cars for regarding sources of energies, without delving into the detail. But we are still working on our new second ecosystem for 2021 to 2030, with 2 major objectives related to local integration by 57 to 60% and a turnover rate of part purchase for our market by 2.5 million euros. So 2.5 billion euros. We've already reached this number, and we have signed with the head of government, with the presence of the ministry and their team, that I thank infinitely for their effort on investment and budget because of the work that is done. And I would like to remind you all that our CEO came to Morocco in mid-September, where we were able to sign a convention on the 5 next years to electrify the future models of Dacia, as well as when it comes to talents, where we are able to create our own R&D engineering center and the digital center that was launched in Casablanca. And the trust of our engineers and technicians will be what's fundamental to the success of our operations. So the electrification of cars is a true reality currently. We have the first EVs made in Tangier, called Duo Immobilize, and the Jogger hybrid made in Morocco, where we will be soon producing Sanderos and Logans 100% in Morocco. So this is the chance that Morocco has in its success to implement EVs at the level of Qanat Rajaf for Tangier and Casa for about 10 million euros, and there are many other EVs that will be made by Moroccan raw materials, thanks to Moroccan engineers. This is a beautiful omen for the future. So with you, Mr. Bamrani, how can you tell us more about the levers that come to mind on Moroccan protection related to foreign competition? We are a Moroccan company, but we are also first-line defenders when it comes to competitiveness, because it's competition that makes us better, and we're not just talking about public policies where we would intervene to make obstacles and limit competition. So I'm sorry for this term, but we need to be less naive, especially when it comes to the agreements we have, especially the FTAs or the free trade agreements that we have in place. And for the Dislog Group to expand to Europe, we have a lot of presence in 7 European countries. And once we acquire our first few companies in France and Spain, we would think that our industrial opinion on the biscuits that His Excellency mentioned is or are being sold for 2 dirhams in Morocco. It's at the large storefronts. One product leaves the cash register by 2.8 to 1 euros. So we shouldn't be more competitive, but we must be more capable of knowing how to do things. And so this has to do with building an entire network between Spain, Portugal, France, and other countries to recover our clients and consumers. That's how we will make the market explode in terms of competition. And we were able to work with big retailers, and we weren't able to retain Carrefour in France and Spain, but we still launched production. We did this a year and a half ago, and for a year and a half now, we weren't able to sell our biscuits in Europe for the sole reason of tariffs, non-tariff barriers, and so this is how free trade agreements make it permissible for us, and we are also full of hospitality as Moroccans. We are quite welcoming, and so things are going better bit by bit. And so in a few geographies, things are much more difficult to access, but without much delve into the details, what are non-tariff barriers? So this has to do with egg-based biscuits. Egg-based biscuits are hard to sell in Europe, and that's why we have to reformulate them into European egg powder to be able to export our products. Once we did this, we needed to record everything or safeguard it in our for our products in every European country, which is quite the example that makes us think.
Monsieur le ministre, pour clore,
I'll give you the floor, Your Excellency, in order to wrap up and talk to us about the conversions between public policies. How will you orchestrate all of this in order to offer a coherent environment for and in order for the label of Made in Morocco to benefit from this dynamism? Thank you very much, Mr. Wadia. I believe that we are all united under the vision of His Majesty. First, His Excellency, Mr. Mazur, and me were always there in order to make investment or the will of certain companies to come here to Morocco and have concrete projects. We try alongside all the sectorial departments to converge and help set the best ground that's comfortable and reliable to attract investments. Around investments, there are many approaches to be taken. First, facilitating tasks and putting or establishing an easy framework for investments and solve ongoing problems and look for challenges and overcome them. I believe that we've made advancements, and I would like to say that the future will be highly positive. That's what we are expecting. We're a well-advanced country, but it has nothing to do with the Morocco of tomorrow. The Morocco of tomorrow is a Morocco that's rich, prosperous, a place where investment is a sector of wealth, simple, easy, and great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency Karim Zidane, who is Minister of Evaluation of Public Policies, Mr. Bashiri from Morocco, Mr. Amrani, the General Director, Mr. Anwar Adi, the CEO of Neosis. Please, thank you very much. Now we'll carry on with the proceedings of this conference, but before that we'll take a group photo in order to commemorate this moment where we are focusing on making Made in Morocco label. We'll talk about the stakes of PPP and many other topics, as well as to challenges linked to governance, not to mention the resources and human resources, and Mr. Mazur will join us. And also we'll talk about future skills. Please give them a vigorous round of applause to our panelists for their speeches, for their contributions. And now we'll carry on with some testimonies from young entrepreneurs. The testimony of a person who is passionate, who succeeded in achieving exceptional things. Mr. Mohamed Yaqoubi, the founder of and CEO of Inoflix.
C'est Mohamed Yaqoubi, la scène est à toi.
The podium is yours. I believe that what you'll have to say and your testimony will touch the heart of our youth. How did you start or embark on your journey, and what did you achieve? Good morning, my dear